Today we're taking a look at a watch that is taking on the everyday watch. The everyday watch is a really important staple in most collections. However, usually an affordable everyday watch falls short in some respect. However, today's watch is a very special watch and I have one hands-on to show you guys. It's really beautifully finished and it gets a beautiful textured dial. It's called the Eden and it's from the brand Navari. I have one hands-on, so let's flip the camera and take a look at a Navari Eden with a beautiful pink dial. And here's the watch. Now, I don't think this dial will be for everyone, so they do make other dials because these dials are a little bit bright. This is a pink dial or a salmon dial, depends on what you want to call it, but I think it looks like a pink dial, and it is textured. They make some other dials that are a little bit more, I'll use the word tame, because they are more normal dials, like everyday dials, black dials and green dials and things like that. This is a pink textured dial. What they are going for here, and I've had long conversations with the owner of this brand, is the best everyday watch, and they want to offer finishing at a level that you would normally not be able to get at this price point, especially at their Kickstarter, because this is starting out at an incredible price considering the amount of work that is going into the case and the bracelet. This is a very straightforward everyday watch. It's powered by a Sellita SW200. It has a screwed-in crown, a screwed-in case back, 100 meters of water resistance. It gets all the bells and whistles that you would expect from a high-end independent or Microbrand watch. You are also getting a beautiful clasp on here that has these lines that go through it. It looks really good. Their logo is right there. It's all engraved very nicely into the clasp. And then you have a double push button enclosure. In here you have on-the-fly micro adjust. And the on-the-fly micro adjust is really smooth, as you could hear. And you could adjust it on wrist, which is something that I think is the new thing that all brands should be doing. You should be able to adjust it on wrist. So in other words, when you take your watch off at night, you put it back on, you should be able to open up the micro adjust all the way, and then when you put it on your wrist, you adjust it to your wrist size every single day. So it changes every single day like you do. And that's the whole point. You have a solid case back. The case back is screwed in, like I was saying, just has information about the watch and their logo. You have some quick release on here, solid end links, screwed links, as you would expect from a really nice bracelet. But it's the finishing on this bracelet that is what I find pretty incredible. This bracelet feels amazing. Every single edge on this bracelet is polished, and it is done by hand. Same thing goes for the case, and the case is actually pretty thin. You can see that in profile. It's around 10 millimeters thick. I actually measured under 10 millimeters thick, and you can see the profile of this clasp is also very, very thin. So obviously they are going for ultimate wearability with this watch. They want it to be thin. They want it to feel really good on wrist. This is actually thinner than the crown. The crown is around 5.8 millimeters. I measured this at 5.7 millimeters thick. So this is a very low profile on the fly micro adjust that is adjustable while on wrist. I think it's one of the thinnest that I've seen. So the bracelet is beautifully finished, but the case is also beautifully finished. You have beautiful brushing on here that looks very high end. It really does. You have a beautiful polished edge that goes along the top of the case. The bezel is smooth and it is curved. On the side of the bezel, it is polished. On the top, there is circular brushing and it looks fantastic. The dial also, in my opinion, looks pretty damn cool. This is a press dial, so you know, this watch with the price point and everything, I'm not surprised that this is a press dial. It does make sense. However, it is really nice, and there's a few layers to this pressing. I could see that there's a few different layers to it. It looks really good. It's signed with the brand name just below the 12 o'clock index, and right above the 6 o'clock index, it says automatic. Again, you're getting a Swiss movement inside this watch, and this is a German-made watch. This is really nicely finished. I think they're using some really top-notch watchmakers, and this feels like something way more high-end, especially when you consider the price we'll talk about that in just a few minutes, like I mentioned. You also get applied indices. Those are very high off the dial. They are very liberally applied with lume. You have these beautiful hands on here as well. Those are filled with lume as well. And then you have a date at the 3 o'clock position, taking the place partially of that 3 o'clock index. On my wrist today is another watch that is hand finished, however, far more expensive than the watch that we're looking at today. This is Reuter watches and a limited edition. Really, it's not a limited edition. It's a one of one, a piece unique that Dan Reuter made for me. And I have to tell you, I'm still over the moon over this watch. It is absolutely gorgeous. Frosted dial, and you have a frosted movement. Everything here is pretty bespoke, and this will be a limited run for my watch club, the Gotham Watch Club, but he made this one for me specifically in this specification, so this will not be made again in this exact specification. So this is a piece unique that he has made for me, and it is pretty incredible. Again, you're getting a lot of hand finishing on this watch, so it is very expensive. And there is the Eden on my 7.5 inch wrist. And you can see it wears extremely close to the wrist. That low profile case looks fantastic. You have a sapphire crystal on here with plenty of AR coating. As you can see, when I move it around, not a lot of reflections. That AR coating on the underside of that flat sapphire crystal. What a beautiful watch on wrist. A really beautiful everyday watch. This is around a 39 millimeter watch. I measured it a few times. Depending on how you measure it, it comes out at around 39 millimeters, just under 10 millimeters thick. I measured in at around 9.8 millimeters. You have a 5.8 millimeter crown, and then you have a lug to lug of around 47.4 millimeters, including the male end link on this watch. And that's probably my only complaint about this watch, is the fact that it has a male end link, although it doesn't really affect the dimensions very much because it comes out to around 48.2 millimeters. So only adding a very little bit of width or length to the watch with that male end link. So there you go. I think this will wear really nicely on most wrists. My wrist is 7.5 inches, but it will definitely wear well on larger and smaller wrists. And there you go. There is a beautiful amount of lume on here as well. The indices are very liberally applied. The hands are also very liberally applied. Super Luminova on here looks fantastic. The only thing I would say is there is no lume on the second hand, but technically an everyday watch, so maybe it doesn't need a little bit of lume on the hand. I would like to see a little bit of lume. I always like to see lume on a second hand, just so I could see my watch is working in the dark. So that would be my only other small complaint about this watch besides the male end link. But those two things are really not a big deal at all, especially considering all the hand finishing that you are getting on this watch. Each one of these links, and this is a 3-link bracelet, are hand finished, and the case is hand finished as well. There's not many watches out there at this price point that you will get hand finishing of any sort. So that is pretty impressive. This watch comes in at $995 at their Kickstarter. I think this is a really beautifully finished watch, and I think that's the whole point of this watch. It is a straightforward, everyday design. However, they wanted to give you the best finishing that they possibly could, and they had to do that by hand. So obviously, here you go. Tell me what you think down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. Super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. I'll put a link to their Kickstarter down in the description. Definitely check it out if you are interested. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I will catch you guys in the next video.